What was your interaction like with Dusty Rhodes?
Oh, well, man, Dusty, man, we got along great. I mean, it wasn't for Dusty getting the book. Because, see, you got to understand, when I first got to WCW, Ole was the booker. He was the boss, see? And so he was the one that let me, do the big cat gimmick, see? So once Ole was about to relieve his duties as the booker, then that's when Dusty came in and got the book. Once Dusty came in and got the book, that's when he came to me, Johnny B. Bad, PN News, and a few others to try to help them, their career and their gimmick, come up with a better gimmick. And so when he came to me, he goes, hey, he used to call me LT. Hey, LT, I got a better gimmick, like Lawrence Taylor, Yeah. He goes, because I look like him a little bit back then. He goes, hey, LT, I think I got a better gimmick for you. He goes, you remember Big Bubba Rogers, don't you? I said, yeah. He goes, you think you can do that gimmick? I was like, yep, I can do it. That was a no-brainer right there. He goes, well, just put your own little twist to it. We don't want, you don't want the people getting you mixed up. We don't want y'all, you don't want people thinking we're the same people. So what I did was I did my little research. I used to sit there and watch Big Bubba Rogers. I'd watch his matches. I'd watch him go to the ring. I watch everything about him, how he went to the ring, what he wore, what he took off before his match, the whole 9 yards. And what I noticed about Bubba was he would take his hat off, he would take his shades off, he would take his jacket off, and sometimes he would take his tie off through the course of the wrestling match. And so what I had to do with that character was I was like, okay, I could take my hat off, I could take my jacket off, but I got to figure out a way to leave them shades on. That was the key. And I was like, if I can wrestle with these shades on, I think that'll get the gimmick over. Now, this is a story by itself with the shades. Now, I would go to the freaking sporting goods store and I'd get one of those sports straps, but it wasn't snug enough because every time I would take a big backdrop or hip toss, my shades would fly off. And Hardy would have to give him my other pair because he kept one pair in his pocket, because they broke real easy sometimes. And so I said, huh? But back then I wore black tape, electrical tape, because heels wore black tape and the baby faces wore white tape. And so I noticed on the black tape one night I was putting it on in the dressing room and I know it stretched. I was like, wait a minute. A big old light went off in my head. I was like, shit, this stretches. So what I ended up doing was I took the tape. I take about a piece this long, about 2 pieces this long, and I put them together so I wouldn't pull my hair, one for the inside, one for the outside. And then I put them on the end and tape the ends. Bingo. And so when I go, and I was bigger then, so it was pretty snug in that groove back there. You couldn't see it because it was inside the fat, you see. But they were snug, so every time I would take a bump, they wouldn't come off. I was like, oh yeah, this works. But I had another problem. The other problem was they would fog up so bad I couldn't see. So I'm sitting there trying to look up under the freaking glasses so I can see the ropes. And so in my car, I had this defogger that I bought. It's for the morning time. Keep the dew off so you can see. And I was like, oh shit, I got some defogger in my trunk. So what I would do, I'd go and I got it out the trunk and I rub it on the glasses. Inside and out, right? And I had a match and they worked. They didn't fog up. I was like, damn, there we go. Now I can see. And so Dusty was the one that gave me the Mr. Hughes gimmick. But with that Mr. Hughes gimmick, I put my real name in there because Mr. T was going off in my head. I said, Mr. T, Mr. T, Mr. Hughes, Mr. T. And I was like, shit, Mr. T, Mr. Hughes. So Dusty was like, come up with a name and get back with me. So I was like, hey, Dusty, how Mr. Hughes sound? He goes, yeah, we'll use that. Perfect. That's my name in there. And so each time I signed the contract, I'd get royalties for my name, right? So when I signed my real name, Curtis Hughes, and then signed my wrestling name, the bodyguard, Mr. Hughes, it was a done deal. And so that's why I got along with Dusty real good. It wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the Mr. Hughes gimmick, you see. And so I have nothing bad to say about Dusty. But the last run I had in WCW, when Dusty was about to get let go, and the guy from UWF was coming in. What's his name? That's where Dog and Terry Taylor and everybody was it UWF?
It was Bill Watts.
Watts,
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you very much. Bill Watts was coming in and get the book.
Mm-hmm.
And so Bill liked it, and he wanted to do some business, okay? So they had called me up to come up to the CNN building where the office was, and they wanted to talk to me. I guess they was going to give me a contract. And so here I am. I go in the office, and I'm sitting in front of Bill Watts there, in front of his desk, but then Dusty comes in, and he's sitting in by the door in a chair, And, I got good peripheral vision, but while we're sitting there talking, everything was going fine, and then it went to hell. I was like, what the hell happened? I thought I was going to, get another contract or whatever. But, I ain't saying what he was doing, but, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. But he happened to come in the room when everything was going good, and then it went to shit, So, but I don't have anything bad to say about him, because he wanted to help me with my career, and help me catapult the Mr. Hughes gimmick. And so that's how WWF noticed who I was, because of the WCW TVs, which helped my career a great deal.
And he did push you.
Yeah. Dusty gave me a serious push. He really gave me a serious push. And, even when I had to work his son, his son had to put me over a few times, but on my way out, that's how it is. On your way out, you got a job for people. That's how it was back then. And so I already knew, when my time was up, it was up. It was time to go to the next level in my career, which was WWF.
This is kind of random, but I wanted to ask you this about Dusty, because we know his legend and wrestler, booker, and everything like that. But you mentioned Rufus R Jones earlier. Yeah. Have you ever heard that? Because I've heard several of the wrestlers that would say that he kind of took that persona from Rufus R.
I heard that
Thunderbolt.
Too. Yeah, I heard that.
Did you ever see that?
I heard that too. A lot of the boys used to say that, and I remember talking to Rufus about it, and he told me about it. Yeah, he told me about how Dusty kind of took a lot of the way they did their thing. You know what I mean? Because at first, Dusty was just an old regular Texas cowboy, and then all of a sudden, he's talking jive and shucking and jiving like he's one of the brothers, right? And so, Rufus used to tell me that, and Junkyard used to tell me, and Tony Atlas used to tell me. Because these all guys been around, man. They've been around the business. So they done seen a lot of this stuff going down, you know what I mean? And riding down the highway, they tell you stories, You ask them about somebody, they'll tell you, Yeah, well, he ain't what you think and all this, So, yeah.
But otherwise, he treated you pretty good up until that last
Yeah, he treated me great. I ain't got nothing bad to say about Dusty. If it wasn't for, like I said, one for him, I wouldn't have been Mr. Hughes, and my career probably wouldn't have been tuck off like it did, because it gave me the opportunity to create something myself. He just gave me this gimmick and said, do what you will with it. And I did, And when I created Keep the Shades On, they tried, but they ain't figured out how to keep them on. Like when me and Motor City got together, me and Motor City Madman, he would wear them. But they'd come off, But my thing was, I want to figure out how to keep these suckers on and wrestle the whole match through them. The whole gimmick is going to be the shade gimmick, And that's what it was.